to the latest episode of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. Yes, we are back, finally, right? I can't believe it. It's been so long since I've done a show. I'm so glad to be back. We have ever so much to catch up on here on this episode. Hopefully it's a really good one. Hope you enjoy. And let's get started. I want to start by talking about a few things, because I have to eat some crow here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been wrong several times, and it's about time I kind of just, own up to it. And let's start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh, they're a very talented team. Obviously, they're 7-0 right now. They're the best team in the league. I think many can question that. And that, but when you started the season, it's kind of like, oh, who are they beating? They're beating a bunch of nobodies. But these last 2 weeks, they're showing us that they really are the team that, I know I didn't see them being this way. But really, they're just showing that they're such a talented team. These last 2 weeks, they've gone on the road to Tennessee and to Baltimore and have won both of those games. Not only that, but they have absolutely dominated, especially on the defensive side of the football. God almighty, that defense is so good. They held Derrick Henry just 75 yards, his second lowest total of the season. His lowest is 57 against the Buffalo Bills. And then this past Sunday, they go into Baltimore, force four Lamar Jackson turnovers, and they win in Baltimore. That's another signature win for this Pittsburgh team. They're showing us that they actually really mean business, and it's actually crazy, because before the season, I said on this show that the Steelers were not going to be a playoff team. I did not trust big men coming off elbow surgery. I didn't think Juju was the number one. And really, it hasn't been the story with Juju. Hasn't been part of the story when it comes to the Steelers. It's really all about Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson. These are the two guys. It's like, wow, these two they just come out of nowhere. They really stepped up this year for the Steelers, especially on offense. These two have really shined. But really, the big story for Steelers, like I said already, that defense has been so dominant. Last week, forced 4 Lamar Jackson turnovers. They also held Derrick Henry to under 100 rushing yards. I believe it's just the second time this season he's been held under 100 rushing yards, if I'm not mistaken. Now, could this Pittsburgh team beat Kansas City in a playoff matchup? Well, I don't know. I'm not too sure about that, really, because Kansas City, look what the Patrick Mahomes is doing. 21 touchdowns, 1 interception. Those are crazy numbers, but of course, there's Patrick Mahomes numbers. Now the interesting thing is, again, that defense, spectacular. Probably one of the best defenses, not the best defense in the NFL right now. Not statistically, but theoretically. I would be very interesting to see how that Steelers defense goes up against Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins is in the mix. The rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I would just really like to see how they go against the Pittsburgh defense. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe. Who knows? Well, maybe we'll see. But right now, Pittsburgh has everybody that's doubting them, one of the people being me, eating crow. Because they're the best team in the NFL right now. They're 7-0, the only undefeated team left. And they play Dallas this weekend. So really, it's looking very good for Pittsburgh. We'll see if they can keep it going heading forward. Also eating crow here for the Minnesota Vikings. I said they would win the division and that they would be fine. They lost 5 starters on defense from last year. And they brought in Justin Jefferson. He's done very well this season. That's a rookie receiver out of LSU. I said they had the Glandy guy from TCU, the cornerback. I thought, he's going to do great and they're going to be fine. Week 1, right out the gate. I know I talked about this already, but week 1, right out the gate. Crapshoot. Absolute crapshoot from the Vikings. And it's been that way all season long. They're just a very disappointing team right now. Yes, they just beat the Packers. So I don't, Dalvin Cook. Outside of Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, this is a really bad Vikings team. And it shows because I believe they're 3rd in the NFC North right now behind the Bears and the Packers. So really, I was really disappointed. I should have seen this coming, though, because Minnesota lost 5 starters on defense. Well, what was I thinking, right? Come on. What was I thinking? That they were going to do well this season without 5 starters. Justin Jefferson has done well for himself. I give him props for that. The rookie out of LSU. He's done very well. I like him. But like the big, Minnesota has 2 wins now? Because they beat who did they beat? I'm trying to think, sorry. They beat the Texans, that's what it is. And then they just beat the Packers on the road. They still have losses against teams like Atlanta. How do you lose to Atlanta? Atlanta is Atlanta. God almighty, that's a bad team to lose to. Kirk Cousins has not done well either. He has thrown I don't even have the number in front of me. I know he's throwing interceptions out the you-know-what. Like, he's doing really bad throwing the ball as well. And I know I said it on the show before the season. I thought Adam Thielen, he's going to be the number one. He's going to do great things. And he's done pretty well, but he's not done what Justin Jefferson has done. And so that's another thing. So pretty much outside of Dalvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings, this has been a very disappointing season. And I should have seen this come from the get-go. I really should have seen this before. You lose 5 starters on defense from last year. You kind of should think that, this is not going to be a great team. And I was wrong. So I ate the crow about them and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was wrong about both of those teams. I'm really glad again to be back. SCU Show number 53. By the way, Minnesota also lost Danielle Hunter for the season. So that's 6 starters lost on defense from last year. Very bad. Not good at all. We're going to continue to eat crow here because I was also wrong about Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow has done very well this year. Despite, obviously the Bengals aren't winning, and Joe Burrow's been sacked most times in the NFL, but for what Joe Burrow has to work with, he's doing absolutely well. Like, very, very well for himself in the NFL his rookie year. I don't have the stats in front of me or anything like that, but I know he's doing very well. You see what he's doing. He's just beat the Titans, one of the top teams in the NFL, and, he was a field goal away from beating the Chargers and this and that, and again, really, it's just been very impressive for Joe Burrow. I'm one of those people that said, going into the draft, he's going to be a bust. Everyone knew he was going first overall to Cincinnati. But the question was, how is he going to do? What does he have to work with? Is AJ Green going to be healthy? Is he going to have this? What's going to work? And I was wrong again. It's worked pretty well for Joe Burrow so far this year. He's done very well. Obviously they're not winning the AFC North or anything because they have to go up against Baltimore and Pittsburgh both twice a year, and Cleveland is still very talented. They're 5-3 now, I think, 4-3. They're still above 500. So unfortunately, the circumstances around Joe Burrow are against him, but still, the way he's playing, you got to be very impressed. You can't, really, you just got to really have to be impressed when it comes to what you're looking at when it comes to Joe Burrow. He's done very well. He's technically winning more than Justin Herbert is right now. The Chargers are historically bad right now, blowing 17-point leads in 3 consecutive games. A new NFL record, by the way. But again, Burrow has been sacked most times in the NFL. He doesn't have much to work with. But for what you're seeing, it's pretty damn good. I mean, everyone likes to hype up Philadelphia. He tied with them. Everybody, I hyped up the Chargers. He was a field goal away from tying that game and possibly going to overtime but winning that game. So again, another impressive outing. Really, Joe Burrow, I hope he keeps it up. He's not going to win anything this year. Might not for a few more years until at least Big Ben retires, which could be next year or two. But again, Joe Burrow, he's done very well, and I hope he keeps it up. Alright, so again, like I said, this is an episode where we're really just trying to keep up with everything. And therefore, I'm going to run through a bunch of things that I saw from the first half of the NFL season. First half takeaways pretty much. So we'll start with the Cowboys. God almighty, do the Cowboys need to pay Dak Prescott? Look at what they've done without him. They're the worst. Well, first of all, Mike Nolan should have never been hired as the defense coordinator. They should never got rid of their defense coordinator, who's now with Indy. Look how Indy's defense is doing. So that's one thing. The other thing is you have to pay Dak. And what you're seeing right now with Andy Dalton and Ben DiNucci, I like to call him Ben Chickenoki for fun. It's obvious that Dak is the answer there in Dallas. They need to pay him big money right now. They need to get that contract worked out because you're not winning anything without him. Look at the Cowboys are now third behind the Washington football team, for God's sake. They scored a field goal against the Washington football team. That's how bad things are in Dallas. You lost to a team with no name. You didn't even score a touchdown against a team with no name. That's how bad it is. Deshaun Watson, I said it before, I think he was foolish to sign a 5-year deal with the Texans. I thought, next year he would go to New England, because that's what Vegas had. He was Vegas said he was going to go to New England next year and be that quarterback. And then he signs a 5-year deal, and now he has nothing to work with, and no coach. He has nothing. So pretty much, Houston, if I'm Houston, I'm blowing up the entire team, pretty much. You already fired the coach. You need to get him new receivers. Romeo Crennel is not going to be your new head coach next year. I'll tell you that right now. I think everybody knows that, though. You need to implode. I feel the same way with Dallas, but that's not going to happen. They just hired Mike McCarthy. They're not going to implode. that team. They should. They're not going to. But Deshaun Watson, I think, was very foolish for signing a 5-year deal, especially when he has nothing to work with. His head coach was his GM. That's why it didn't work out. I mean, yeah, so that's why, again. And he has nothing to work with. He has BC receivers, and I thought that would work out well for him. Unfortunately, it hasn't. And really, that's just really disappointing for Deshaun Watson because he's such a talented quarterback. Everybody knows what a talented quarterback Deshaun Watson really is. But if I was him, I would not have signed this 5-year deal. It's showing right now. They have 1 win on the season, 2 wins on the season, maybe 1. And they're tied for last with the Jaguars in the AFC South. So really, bad choice on Deshaun Watson for signing a 5-year deal. I would have not have done that. I would have played the season out, see how it went. And I probably would have gone somewhere else. Definitely, no doubt about that. All right, so I kind of want to save this for next week, but I do want to touch on it now. So everybody loved Lamar Jackson last year. I love Lamar Jackson coming out of Louisville, and I thought, everything's going to be great and all that good stuff. It's, fine and dandy. And now I'm sort of seeing something different from him. I'm a little concerned about Lamar Jackson. Should I be? I don't know. We'll see how things go going forward. But right now, I'm a little concerned about Lamar Jackson. He has 4 turnovers last week against the Steelers. Yes, the Steelers have a great defense. Nothing away from Pittsburgh. Great defense. But Lamar's not the same Lamar this year. And even his wide receiver, what's his name? Marquise Brown is posting on social media. I don't know what social media it is. But he's posting on social media that, he's not getting any targets or anything like that. So, what's going on in Baltimore? What's going on with Lamar Jackson? I'm hoping that, this 4 turnover thing was nothing to write home about. I'm hoping it was. And I hope he stays the same Lamar Jackson that we all know him to be. Hopefully, hopefully this 4 turnover game was just a flaw game. And hopefully he can get back on top. He needs to get the ball, obviously, more to Marquise Brown, I believe, as well. Because Marquise Brown is a very talented receiver. He only played 7 games last year, and he did very well. So, come on, give him the ball more, Lamar. You need to step it up here, because you are the face of this franchise right now, and you're really not showing it. We'll get some more of that next week. Everybody talks about it. Brady is a system quarterback, right? Everybody talks about Brady is a system quarterback. Well, now you're all liars, and you're all wrong. Everybody that said that Brady's quarterback is obviously wrong now, because look at Tampa Bay. They're tied for the Saints in the division at 5-2, 5-3, whatever the case is. And New England's 2-5, 2-6, 2-5. Their worst start since Brady's rookie year. But he didn't even start. He didn't start that year. It's pretty bad in New England. Obviously you have 8 players opting out and everything else. But the whole argument is that everybody thought, well, Brady was a system quarterback. He's not going to do well outside of Belichick's system. He's excelled out of Belichick's system. He's done very well for himself out of Belichick's system. He's kicking ass out of Belichick's system. Meanwhile, Belichick's system has won 2 games with Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer. It's not Brady, everybody. It's not the system, everybody. Brady is better off without Belichick. I think we're seeing that now as the Bucs are tied with the Saints, mind you, in the NFC South. So that's a lot. It says a lot. And the last thing I take away from all this is Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, good God Almighty, they just continue to be phenomenal quarterbacks. But isn't really surprised, though, because we've seen this coming, always. We always knew that these two were going to be the best quarterbacks. Russell Wilson leads the league with 26 touchdowns. He's on pace for 59 touchdowns, which would break Peyton Manning's record. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes has 21 touchdowns with just 1 interception. I mean, come on, I'm asking the football gods to give us a Seattle-Kansas City Super Bowl because it's exactly what we need. We need a Seattle-Kansas City Super Bowl. Seeing the two offenses go at it, that's going to be such a barn burner. Ratings would be skyrocketing. It'd be great for CBS, who has a Super Bowl this year. Give it to us, football gods. We need a Seattle-Kansas City Super Bowl. It's what we want. It's what I want. It's what the fans want. We're going to stick with the halfway point talking about all this. Again, we're catching up here on SCU Show, episode number 53. MVP race. And really, there's only about 5 guys. I've only gave 5 guys here that I think could be MVP this year. We'll start with Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray has led the Arizona Cardinals to they're 5-2 right now, if I'm not mistaken. They just beat the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. They have DeAndre Hopkins, who's done extremely well for them. Coming into his first year in Arizona, they have Christian Kirk and Isabella. This whole team is on fire. And one thing I saw from Kyler Murray on Sunday night when they beat the Seahawks. When they took the ball when they were down, I felt confidence. I was like, oh, Kyler Murray has the ball. Oh, my God, they got to win this game. I felt so confident about it. And I feel so confident about Kyler Murray and what kind of quarterback he is coming into his second year. He's going to figure this thing out, ladies and gentlemen. He's a great quarterback. He just beat the Seahawks. The confidence feeling I got from him, that tells me Kyler Murray's going to shine in the NFL for years to come. And that was just one game. That was just one game we saw. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kyler Murray's in the MVP race come the end of the season. Right now, he definitely is in my book. Derrick Henry leads the league with 755 rushing yards. Yes, Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry. No doubt about that. He's still very, very talented running back. Probably the most talented running back in the NFL. Outside of Christian McCaffrey, who's missed half the season already. Very disappointing that we have not been able to see him, because he definitely would have been up for MVP race. But right now, Derrick Henry is the top running back in the NFL, and I think he's definitely one of the front runners for the MVP this year. And after that, it's just a bunch of quarterbacks. Big Ben, I mean, come on, Pittsburgh 7-0. He's doing with, I don't know if Deontay Johnson's a rookie, second-year guy. Chase Claypool's a rookie, and he's pretty much leading this team as far as the receivers go. Juju, I haven't heard much from him. Chase Washington's doing all right. But really, it's Chase Claypool, it's Deontay Johnson. Two guys that could just come out of nowhere. And Big Ben's making it work. And it's it's just great. It's fantastic. Who would have thought Big Ben coming off of elbow surgery was going to do something like this? Not me. So Big Ben definitely gets a vote for MVP in my book. Patrick Mahomes comes in number 2. Again, 21 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's having a Patrick Mahomes-esque year, right? I mean, that's what it is, right? He is having a Patrick Mahomes-esque type of year. That's all it is. That's it. That's all it is that he's having such a great year. Obviously he has Travis Kelce, he has Tyreek Hill, he has Clyde Edwards-Helaire doing great after Damian Williams opted out. The rookie running back, he's doing very well for himself. But Patrick Mahomes has great numbers once again. And again, nobody should be surprised because this is Patrick Mahomes. We saw this coming out of Texas Tech. What a great quarterback he was going to be in the NFL. I just didn't expect, especially, that he'd be MVP and Super Bowl MVP within his first 2 years. But he's doing it again, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, I give him votes for MVP. And number 1, Russell Wilson. Of course, Russell Wilson's on pace for 59 touchdown passes. Seattle's, I don't know if they're the one seed in the NFC right now, but they're on top of the NFC West right now, the best division in football. They are on top of that division. They are on top. Yes, they lost. He threw a couple bad picks against Arizona. He'll bounce back. He already bounced back. They already beat San Francisco. A very talented team who's lost a lot of players, but still. This is Russell Wilson's division. This is pretty much Russell Wilson's MVP race to finally lose. Like, he has not won an MVP in his, this is like 8th, 9th year now? 10th year, whatever the case is. He has yet to win one MVP vote. He has not won a single MVP vote. Why? Where is this? Nothing of this makes sense. I would give it to Russell Wilson. Right now, he's my NFL MVP halfway through the season. It's crazy. Well, this has been a fun show. We have technical difficulties, of course, with this headset, which I don't really like it too much. The show has paused itself. We have had to restart. So, did you see segments sort of intertwining and things look a little weird? It's because I've had to start again 3 times. Not start again, but I've had to record again 3 times. But anyway, we'll end the show here by talking about what we always talk about, the SCU Sizzling 7. Again, actually we have 2 more topics. So SCU Sizzling 7, and we'll talk a little NBA. SCU Sizzling 7, this is from the entire season so far. From week 2, or week 1 to week 8 now. We're about to be week 9. Number 7 is the Tennessee Titans. Yes, they are a very talented team. By the way, I meant to mention this on Twitter. I never did. I love the fact that Ryan Tannehill is using his legs more. I remember in 2017, he was talking about with Miami, he was looking to be more of a running quarterback, and then he tore his ACL. And it was very unfortunate and all that, and things fell apart with Tennessee. He's showing us now that he really knows what he's doing when it comes to running the football if he has nobody open. He's a very talented quarterback. It's working for Tennessee. It's working for Ryan Tannehill. And I just love the fact that he's running the football as much as he is passing it. He's doing well with both of them. I love it. And obviously Derrick Henry leading the league in rushing right now. So Tennessee, number 7. Number 6, Baltimore. Yes, the Ravens are, we're projected to be the best team in the NFL. But again, I'm a little concerned right now about Lamar Jackson. There seems to be a little tension with him and Hollywood Brown. They need to get that worked out. The running game's done pretty well. They do have great running backs out there. They have J.K. Dobbins, the rookie at Ohio State. They got Gus Edwards doing well. Mark Ingram's hurt, but he's doing when he's out there. He is out there. He's doing very well for himself as well. And so Baltimore, number 6. Number 5, we go to Green Bay. I don't get it. I really don't get Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, no receivers taken in the draft. They took a quarterback first round. Obviously, that was a big waste, and they've already realized that. No receivers at the trade deadline. They were going to go get Will Fuller, but they obviously did not. I just don't get it. Green Bay is just kicking, with one receiver. Aaron Rodgers at one point had 13 touchdowns and no picks. I don't get it. If somebody can figure out the Green Bay Packers, let me know. But right now, they're number 5 in the SCU Sizzling 7. Number 4, the team that whooped their the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Tom Brady is struggling a little bit here and there. He seems slamming his helmet on Monday Night Football against the Giants. But still, it's working in Tampa. Again, the system quarterback stuff is a bunch of crap. I think we can put that to bed now. Tampa Bay is tied with the Saints on top of the NFC South right now, and they are number 4 on the SCU Sizzling 7. Number 3 is the Seahawks. Seattle's best team in the NFC, probably one of the best teams. They are one of the best teams in the NFL. Again, Russell Wilson, 26 touchdowns. He's on pace for 59, which will break Peyton Manning's record. Russell Wilson, I think a lot of people agree. Russell Wilson should have 2 rings. He just doesn't, because they ran the ball. They didn't run the ball at the 1-yard line. They should have ran the ball. Everybody knows that. Come on, let's just put that to bed as well. Hopefully, this should be the year Russell Wilson gets his MVP, because he has not won a single vote in the MVP race, and hopefully he gets a second Super Bowl. That's what I'm hoping for when it comes to Russell Wilson. I hope you feel the same way. But anyway, Seattle number 3, number 2, Kansas City. Yes, I know Seattle has beaten Kansas City in the past, but it's just something about Patrick Mahomes and that team where it's like they're just having fun at this point. They beat the Jets 35-9 last week. 5 touchdown passes from Mahomes. He just makes it look so easy. 21 touchdowns, 1 pick this year. And he's good. Nobody's talking about him, really. It's crazy. Nobody's really talking about him when it comes to MVP race. It's all about Russell Wilson should win MVP. I agree, but you cannot dispute Patrick Mahomes. We need to talk more about Patrick Mahomes and how well the Chiefs are doing right now. Kansas City number 2 in the SCU Sizzling 7. Number 1 is the Steelers. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben has shut me up and all the other critics up. That defense is outstanding. I think it's the best defense in the NFL. Now, statistically, obviously, Miami has given up the least amount of points so far this year on defense. But again, they forced 4 first-half turnovers from Jared Goff, and they're winning against the Rams. So I think that kind of helps there. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, very, very just outstanding. They're stepping up here. And the roles that should have been Juju's and should have been James Washington's, they should be the 1 and 2, but it's not looking like it right now. I'm so impressed by the Steelers. I crow start the show. We already know. I did not mean to rhyme there, but it happened. And the Steelers are the best team in the NFL. They are number 1 in this week's SCU Sizzling 7. There you have it. Good stuff today. Despite the technical difficulties, this has been a very good show. If I have to say so myself. But we're not done. Let's get to, and people are going to laugh at this. People are going to think I'm stupid for this. I might be the only one rooting for the Philadelphia 76ers next year. By the way, congratulations to the Lakers. Congratulations to the Dodgers winning your titles. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Storm winning the NHL Stanley Cup. But anyway, to the NBA, I'm probably the only one who thinks that the Sixers have something working for them right now. And it might be my bias because at this time next year, I'm hoping to live in the Philadelphia area, hoping to be credentialed by the Sixers. We'll stay tuned for more details on my Twitter, at RankFanatic2. Look what they're doing so far. Right now, they have hired Doc Rivers as a head coach. Are you going to dispute that Doc Rivers has not had success as an NBA head coach so far? Are you going to dispute that he has not had success as an NBA head coach? If you are, I can't help you, because Doc Rivers is such a very successful head coach. And not only that, they hired, this is the big thing for me, they hired Daryl Morey to overlook operations. I think that's huge for the Sixers because he's going to be working with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, who's kind of like a James Harden. That's kind of the similarities that I see. Daryl Morey took this Russell Westbrook and James Harden duo that didn't work out too well to the playoffs. Like, he was part of that. He was the GM of that team that went to the playoffs with those two. Now you look at Ben Simmons and you look at Joel Embiid. Why can't it be the same here? I think it's exactly the same thing here. I think the Sixers, if they stay healthy, and if they go get another star, to work with Ben Simmons, to work with Joel Embiid, the Sixers could be a very talented team in the NBA next year, and they could definitely make the playoffs under Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey. And I'm probably the only ones saying this right now, because everyone's like, oh, the Sixers are crap. You know, they just got swept by Boston the second year in a row. Yes, I know. But look, I mean, Brett Brown, who was that guy? I mean, who? What? I mean, they made the playoffs under Brett Brown. Do you want to think they're going to make the playoffs and do better under Doc Rivers? I can't help you. They're going to do extremely well under Doc Rivers. And again, love the move. Daryl Morey, overseeing basketball operations. For him working with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, it's going to be spectacular. I cannot wait to watch the Sixers this year. I can't wait to watch the NBA this year. But the Sixers, they're going to be my sleeper team. Like, I don't know why I'm saying this, but they're going to be my sleeper team heading into the 2020-2021 NBA season. I cannot wait. And at that, we are done. We had a great show. I'm glad to be back. Unfortunately, so far, right now, we are not able to do the the daily shows, because still working out things with job and everything and my living situation. But right now, things are going well. I'll be the last to wish everybody happy Halloween, and the first to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back for Thanksgiving, but I just wanted to say right now, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. This has been another episode of the SCU Show.